presented by Lilly.
Bienvenido a Miami. Well, the home of the three-time NBA champion Miami Heat, although recently Tyler Hero joked that they've been kind of the play-in champs, but they host a familiar foe tonight, the Celtics. They are rolling into South Beach, and Boston is the 2 seed in the East, and that's in large part thanks to that man, former Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, currently top 5 in scoring at just under 29 points per game. But JB, he won't be on his own as Jayson Tatum. He is back, and he's starting to look like the all-NBA version of himself that we've all grown accustomed to seeing, and that is a scary thing, my friends, because odds makers, they have noticed Boston has the shortest odds to win the conference and go to the NBA Finals. Their opponent, the Miami Heat, they have the 8th shortest odds, but sometimes that's exactly where the Heat like to be. As we welcome you inside our Los Angeles studios, he's Brian Windhorst. These are a couple of NBA champs, Michael Malone, Kendrick Perkins.
Getting close to that time.
It is getting close to that time. The best time of year is just about 2 weeks away, and we have an Eastern Conference clash. After that, we have Wemby and the Spurs. They're in my hometown, Bay Area, taking on the Golden State Warriors. But, Coach, I think it's time. You should grab your suntan oil because we're heading down to South Beach.
I don't go out in the sun. I'm Irish.
He's a shade-based person. All right, well, that's where the Celtics are as the regular season winds down. Now, the C's, they're second in the East, as we mentioned. They're one of 2 teams, though, that rank Perk in the top 5 in offensive and defensive efficiency. The other team is the San Antonio Spurs. And you can put a lot of that success on Jaylen Brown, averaging career highs, points, rebounds, and assists. And things have only gotten better because of that guy, Jayson Tatum. He is looking like himself again. The Celtics, they are 9-2 with him in the lineup this season. But the real test, it's going to come in the postseason, right? We know that Jayson Tatum is really starting to round into form at the right time here, Perk.
That's what Tatum did Sunday night in the locker room after the game against the Hornets. That was his I'm back moment. When you think about what he did without Jaylen Brown, without Derek White, 32 points in this game, right? And look at him. This was it. Getting a mismatch on Nipple, blowing by him, and getting to his spot, that step back. And there you go, Wendy. Up 2 feet, down 2 feet, right? And then we're looking again. We're looking again right here. Now he had 8 assists in that game, so they sending the double. It's late. It's in the 4th quarter. They got to get the ball out of his hands. Now it's Jayson Tatum, the facilitator. He finds Cato, cutting to the basket for an easy slam. To me, over the last week, this was the biggest message sent across the league to the rest of the NBA with Tatum having this performance and the Celtics holding the Charlotte Hornets under 100 points in their game.
Monday morning, into the email inboxes, Jayson Tatum named Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Right.
Like,
Speak on
whoa. That's not a good thing for the rest of the Eastern Conference. You know, when he's been on the court so far, the Celtics have outscored their opposition by 70 points. And when you looked at those highlights, that looked like Jayson Tatum from last year when the Celtics entered the postseason as the overwhelming favorite to win the Eastern Conference. That didn't look like the Jayson Tatum who was struggling to shoot when he first came back. And, Coach, I'm going to tell you, when we actually get to when these games are really going to be intense, which I think is going to be in the second round in the East, expect Jayson Tatum to be close to 100%.
Well, I wouldn't disagree. And the one area, when I look at it, the Celtics have had a great year. The one area they've struggled in is clutch games. They have a losing record, 15-16. Last year, as we all know, they had the #1 clutch winning percentage. Since he's been back, they're 3-1 in clutch games. I think that gives Joe Mazzulla 2 guys, MVP candidate Jaylen Brown and a guy that was first-team All-NBA last year in Jayson Tatum. So now you have the luxury of having 2 guys that you can play through to close out games. So he's been phenomenal. And before that last game against Charlotte, he had his then career high, a season high against Atlanta the game before. So he's hitting his stride, finding his confidence and getting in his rhythm.
Yeah, it certainly seems like he's finding his stride at the right time. He is building, he's using these games as building blocks every single time we see him go out. And the last time we saw him, he had his first 30-point game of the season, as you mentioned. And the Celtics, I think they've surprised a lot of people this season, right? Especially given that Tatum missed the first 62 games with that Achilles injury. So when you're looking around and you're saying, okay, who gets credit? Of course, Jaylen Brown is going to get some. Yes, Jayson Tatum is rounding to form at the right time. But how about head coach Joe Mazzulla, right? He is coaching this group. Well, here are his thoughts on winning the Coach of the Year.
I think it's a stupid award. They shouldn't have it. And it's more about the players and it's more about the work that the staff puts in. And it's just that simple. I really don't ever want to be asked or talked about it again.
He says that nope, that's not really what he's going to be focusing on here, Perk.
So Joe Mazzulla and I got off to a rough start about something I said a few years ago. And we got a dinner date planned. Our schedules just haven't been able to, match up.
Who's buying?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sushi?
Yeah.
But I will say this. He's in the conversation for Coach of the Year, but that was one of the most asinine, disrespectful things that I've ever heard. Seriously.
The date may not happen.
And to be honest with you, you can't say that. It's disrespectful to the people that came before you, the great coaches. When you talk about Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, Red Auerbach, who actually coached in that same organization that you're coaching in today, it's also disrespectful to the other coaches that's inspired or have these goals of sitting in that position. And what ended up happening, and it's not just with his coach comments, Coach Wendy and Malika. What ended up happening is when guys make it to the NBA, they seem to take certain things for granted. You guys downplay the MVP award, coaching of the. We're talking about the NBA.
But don't you think that's what Mazzulla does? When you go fast, he goes slow. You go high, he goes low. He wants to keep people off balance. That's his whole MO.
Coach, come on, man.
Well, I was never a guy that would go out there and promote myself, and I think what Joe is saying, it's not about me. It's about Brad Stevens. It's about the great roster I have, and it's also about the tremendous staff I have around him. He could have answered that question in a lot better way, but once again, I think Joe's trying to deflect the attention on the team, on the collective.
But let me give y'all some praise, Coach. Y'all spend more hours dedicating and sacrificing more than the players. People don't understand how much of y'all lives are in the gym. Y'all on 24-hour call. If a player call an assistant coach at 2 in the morning and say that they want to go work out, their coach has better be in there.
Well,
some shots
I do think this, to your point, though, this is sort of what Joe Mazzulla does. This is just his style, and he likes to be a little bit different. Exactly. But Joe Mazzulla, along with the other 30 head coaches in the NBA, you should be taking a look at their feet, because this month they're going to be wearing customized Nikes in honor of Autism Acceptance Month. Yes, all 30 NBA head coaches in partnership with the NBA, in partnership with the Coaches Association, they're all participating in this. And it's a really cool initiative. It supports Utah Jazz assistant Scott Morrison, his wife Suzanne, who founded To The Max after their son's diagnosis. And it's not just the coaches. Brian Windhorst, he's got a pair on, the custom collective version.
Hey, how about this? How about this matching? You like this, Perk?
Got to coordinate.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Wendy. I'm hating a little bit.
You want a pair?
Yeah, I want a pair.
Well, you can auction for these pair at Sotheby's.
Then one's gonna buy your pair.
Players, they can have theirs. The shoes that are going to be worn, they're going to be at the auction to support Autism Awareness Month.
I'm out with a hamstring injury, man.
Pretty cool. Yeah, Brian's going to need to stretch. We're going to take a break here. We're only 11 days away from the end of the regular season, as Perk pointed out with that. What was that? To start the show. And the MVP race, it's never been tighter. We're going to tell you the ripple effect of Wemby's MVP comments from last week as NBA Countdown rolls on.
NBA Countdown is